All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Screw Up session, live with the team AB4R right here. We've decided that today we want the Gamers Edition. So we're putting all gamers on blast. Everybody that's been around the economy, I guess, of gaming. Today's for you, right? Today we've got a special guest. His name is Thabo Moloi. Mara. People call him Young Savage. Um, I just want to disclose that he is an esports gamer. And just correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Moloi, that you are from Forest Hill.
Yes, correct. I'm from Forest here, Johannesburg South.
You see, how did you make it, dude? Like I'm sorry. Well, you know what? Let's first start here, right? Please introduce yourself as the gamer that you are, Mr. FIFA himself.
Okay, hey, I'm Thabo Moloi, professional FIFA player for Collab Gaming and Red Bulls at Athlete. Yeah, I guess, yeah, that's it, man.
You sound more nervous than I am, man. Come on.
Not really, man. I'm just getting into it.
Oh, okay, cool. So let's just put it out there as well that what we're doing is that we've also got someone from Goliath with us. It should be Michelle or Michael. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, it's Mikele.
Hey, how's it going, man?
You see that, guys. You see this team right here. So the team that's here today is from Goliath Gaming. Now, with Goliath Gaming, a lot of people don't know that they're esports, right? Us here at AB4IR, we're trying to encourage people to join that field, right? Esports is something that's growing in South Africa, and we want you guys to be fully aware of it. Michael, can you introduce yourself, please?
Sure. Thanks for having us, first of all. My name is Michele Brondani. I'm one of the co-founders and team managers of Goliath Gaming. Pretty much manage all of our players across the board, as well as handle sponsorship deliverables and pretty much all the day-to-day activities of Goliath Gaming.
Oh, okay, okay. Um, just a quick question for both of you. What does it take to be an esports, um, I guess, player or participator? Tabo, can we start with you?
For me personally, what it takes to be an esport player is just the hard work, dedication. It will be difficult like any other sport. So you will work hard and stay dedicated. Always willing to improve to get better. Always playing against better players to help you get better. Like the experience you get from other people. That also helps. If you're willing to learn, you should be, I don't know, like you should be good in a certain amount of time, in my opinion.
Okay. Michele, can you take over?
Sure. So yeah, there's obviously a lot of aspects that a professional gamer would need to have. As Tabo mentioned, you would need a lot of hard work to put in, a lot of skill and dedication, and for me, most importantly, a very good mindset. Because at the end of the day, two players can be equally skilled, but the one that's going to come out victorious at the end of the day is the one with a better mindset.
True, true, true. Um, Tabo, how did you like decide that this is what I'm doing and there's no going back? Because after listening to a couple of your interviews, what the reason why I wanted you is because some people out there they have roughly the same thing as you, where parents are kind of against it in the beginning, and then when they see the potential of it being your main source of income, then they give you the green light. How do you? I don't know. What's the word here? To tell people like, listen, chase your dreams.
Uh, what can I say? Yeah, there's a lot of factors with I don't know, problem, but then I feel like how do you wait? What was the question, bro? I don't know. How do you?
How do you inspire others to go get to chase that dream of becoming an esports player like you?
Oh, okay. So for me personally, just like I said earlier, just keep working, man. Always willing to improve. And I don't know, you might not get the support from the parents that you want. Obviously, it's hard to convince them, especially because it's a gaming industry. Whoever thought gaming would ever be a career for someone, you know? So
Mm,
I don't know. I feel like for the people now, like the kids, the young people that wanna join esports and their parents don't want to, I don't know, just do it no matter what. Pursue it, man. If you feel like it's for you, just pursue it. Don't hesitate or whatever. Because I mean, at the end of the day, it's like FIFA for me. It started off as a hobby, you know, just playing for fun. But then when
mm.
I saw that you could actually compete against other players, you know, my drive was to be the best around. Like, yeah, I'm known as one of the best players and all that. So you just keep going. Vibes.
Okay. Um, Now my thing is this, right? So some parents, for example, like mine, they don't believe in the dream until they see even the smallest bit of evidence, right? Michele, how do you help recruit people and like just kind of give the parents the shocking news that listen, this he or she is good at this game, and if we give this individual the training time so that this person can play the game and just learn all the tactics completely so that they can compete whether it's nationally or how do you help them reach their parents like listen, this thing works. You're muted there, just check that you unmuted.
Ah, I see. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so that obviously differs across the board. If you put Thabo, for example, I'm sure there was a point where his mom tried chasing him outside to kind of, be active and play with his friends while he's playing FIFA inside. But yeah, all it took for him was to win the biggest tournament in South Africa. And, his mom's now probably his biggest supporter. But for most of the other guys, it pretty much comes down to yeah, like we obviously search online. We keep a close eye on all the players in all the different tournaments, and once we identify certain players, we keep an eye on them. And once they're inside the squad, we've got a lot of backing from our management team. So we've got a financial advisor who assists our players with managing money. We have a team psychologist who puts our players in the best mental mindset leading up to all the tournaments. But yeah, at the end of the day, most of our players' results have spoken for themselves towards their parents, and yeah, their parents have become fully supportive of their journey in gaming.
Okay. Now while I still have you right front and center, what are your criteria to become? Well, sorry, what are the criteria to become an esports player? What do you look for in players?
There's so much that we look out for. Obviously, the first and foremost is obviously the skill level of the player. They would need to be at the top of their game in South Africa, and obviously trying to break through into the international scene. But furthermore, their goals and objectives need to align with Goliath Gaming. Just their characteristics as well. It's super important that they're very respectful players, not only in game but outside of the game as well. Because at the end of the day, when you join a big team, it's not only yourself that you're kind of promoting. It's going to be your team and all the sponsors that kind of back you behind the scene. So yeah, there's a very long list of different characteristics that we look for in the players we sign.
Oh, oh okay. And Tabo, did you know all of this when they came looking for you? Like, listen, this is what we want. We want you to join this team and be one of
Yeah,
our employees, if you will.
yeah, for sure. So I had a friend called, I mean, I have a friend called Julio, which is my teammate. He was the
Hmm.
first person to join Goliath actually, and he was like the best, and he's still probably one of the best FIFA players, obviously. But then at that moment in 2019, yeah, or 2018, he was like the best FIFA player for me. You know, I looked up to him a lot. So obviously, I heard that he joined Goliath Gaming. He told me about them. Yeah, so obviously, I was interested, and like it sounded like a good team to me from what he said. I won the VS Gaming tournament, like Mix mentioned, and they came to me. Yeah, so we spoke. We just signed a contract same day, past winning.
So everything just rolled out the way it happened.
Yeah,
So
man. I would
you
say like
win
I was
VS. Yes,
convinced
sorry.
by my teammate Julio, like you know, they are right people to go by, and plus having him as my teammate was also one of the main reasons why I joined it because he was a better player and he was gonna improve me as a person, as a player, everything. So yeah, I was happy to join Black Gaming as soon as they approached me.
Okay, okay. Philo Masanga, how do you become an esports gamer? Right. So, Cabo, I think that one would be best answered by you. Right. How do you become an esports gamer? Because I feel like Michele recruits the esports gamers, but you are the esports gamer.
Okay, yeah. If you're gonna become an esports gamer, you should just compete in the local tournament. Try to check on social media for the links. There's always links on social media. Maybe for a certain tournament like what can I say? VS Gaming, Global Series, those type of tournaments. You just go on their websites on Twitter or Instagram. You join the link, then you have to join in the tournament, compete against the best players, and to be the best, you have to beat the best. Yeah, that's it.
That sounds like a copied code. That one. But yeah, you
Now
have
that
to
is
beat
true.
the best. Yeah,
Yeah,
very true. So, to answer you, Philo, be the best. And if you're a FIFA player, Tabo's right here. He's waiting for you. Um, but otherwise, guys, more on my side, right? I want to know, like, how much grit does it take to win these tournaments? Because you saying that if I want to be an esports player, for example, FIFA, whether it's League of Legends, even or Dota, the entire range of it all.
yeah,
What like how do you still your nerve so that you don't mess up?
yeah. Obviously, like Mick said, competing in itself, it's a mental thing.
Mm.
So if you put yourself down before the game even starts, you're definitely gonna lose. Like it's a definite lose. So for me personally, obviously it's the mentality, the confidence. If you have those two in your game, I feel like yeah, you can beat anyone. If you feel like you can beat anyone, you surely can beat anyone. Even if sometimes you're gonna be in a competitive game, like let's say for League of Legends, and you're playing against one of the best players, then like you're actually giving him a game. He's gonna be like more under pressure than you because he has more to lose because he's a bigger player. Everyone's looking at him. So if it's your first tournament, especially, just be there, relax, have fun, play your game, but just be strong mentally. Don't ever tell yourself that you're better than someone or someone's better than you. Those things like that. Nah. Just make sure you're always strong mentally and the confidence is high. Then I can assure you, you can beat any given day. And you must hold down your nerves because sometimes you find you in a final, then I don't know, you just get nervous. That's where the mental game comes in. Try to work on your mental game before heading to a tournament. Just try working on your mental game.
Which is a really interesting thing from my side, if I can jump in. So my
Go ahead.
advice would have been for, like step by step for players to compete in different tournaments and kind of build that confidence and, ease the nerves and stuff. But Thabo kind of proved me wrong there by, going the full way in his first tournament ever. So there was obviously something that came within him that, that gave him that confidence in himself to win the whole event.
Mm, mm. So Tabo probably looked at his mentor and he's like, "Listen, I'm coming for you. That title is mine." And you're like, and then the next year you just jump in, you go get it. Like, what did it feel like winning your first tournament? Like, let's forget all the prizes that come with winning the tournaments and all that. What did it
Yeah.
feel like to win?
Uh, it felt great. Obviously, I had no expectations going into the tournament, so wherever I finished, I was gonna be happy because it was my first ever tournament. I wasn't expecting to win, and plus it was a stacked tournament. And there was a lot of good players there, so I didn't expect myself to win. But when I did win it, I was actually happy and I was shy at the same time. There was a lot of emotions going on, you know. But then the main thing is, I would say I was very happy and I was pleased with my performance because not anyone just comes in and wins the biggest tournament in the country on the first try. So it was like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was a proud feeling, proud of myself. I was happy and I was nervous at the same time because I was very shy for interviews. That's one thing I hate winning for interviews.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry putting you through this.
Um,
But
Nah,
yeah,
it's fine. I'm
oh,
yeah
you're fine
now,
now.
but back then that was very difficult. Back then,
Back then you were here. I don't know.
hey,
I,
like I was trying to plan what I wanna say, and it never worked out, you know. But yeah, now it's just
yeah.
now it's chill.
Now you chilled with it. Yeah. So experience is is key for that. Yeah. Um.
Yeah,
Now because I'm into inspiring for others to know exactly um the reason why esports can become a career, right? When we come to the prizes, right? What kind of prizes have you won? Like, for instance, because I know that there's the VS tournaments. I know that there's also like smaller tournaments like the what L something LGN, I think. Small like little tournaments like that that just happen to pop up. What are we looking at for prizes?
yeah. Obviously, it depends on the tournament because the different tournaments have different prices. So obviously, the biggest I've won so far, for sure, definitely was the PS gaming. Then there's FIFA Global Series where you play FIFA against the world's best players, not just locally, the world's best players. So they, I would say, the prize pool is also very good. My teammate Julio recently qualified for the World Cup, but it got cancelled. So they each shared about $15,000. You know, like it's decent money. And there's local tournaments also like Northern Gaming, which I won recently, and I won about 1,200. Yeah, it's just different depending on the tournament.
Okay, Michele, just on your side, what's the biggest prize pool that you've ever seen someone on the team win? Like just an individual. You don't have to name them or anything. Just the biggest prize pool.
I can tell you now, I think with confidence that it's probably the VS Gaming 2018 VS Gaming Festival, where Thabo won 400,000 Rand for coming first. And then, but yeah, overall, it is the Global Series tournaments, which are the overseas events where you have to compete against all the players in the world. As Thabo mentioned, Julia did really well in FIFA 21. And yeah, I don't want to disclose the amounts, but he also came out with quite a nice paycheck for the year. Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, as Thabo mentioned, there are sorry a lot of smaller tournaments throughout the bigger ones that you kind of use as practice and
Yeah,
try win as much as you can there.
yeah, definitely, definitely. Because also in one of our newsletters, we did cover that you guys were ready for the globals. The two teammates are going all the way international FIFA gaming. Now, when it comes to those things, there was an interview that I watched right for this specific interview. I just want to know, Tabo, how did it feel when you were invited to go, but there was a hindrance because of your documentation to go play internationally?
uh, I felt obviously like the ego gone, you know, it was like a one-time thing. But then over time, because I knew that I can do it again, so it's not really a huge thing. You know, it's just a matter of back. But then yeah, I knew that I'll come back strong, and definitely it wasn't really a big issue
So
for me. But obviously, the opportunity was missed out on, and huge opportunity. But now it's fine, man. It's really for me.
okay, so your papers, I take it your papers are ready. So if we say we want to host a FIFA tournament in Botswana, you're ready to go.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, now I understand.
No, and then this is the thing that what we want to do, right? Also, we also advocate at before we advocate for animation, game design, virtual reality, your drones, and the one thing that I'm aspiring to do is to take people from here in Mobopane, sorry, and let them know that we have people like Thabo who are playing FIFA for a living, who are winning like just prize after prize because they're good. And like he said earlier, to be the best, you have to beat the best, right? Now with that being said, who has been your toughest opponent, Tabo?
Mm, known as like, there's a lot of good players in the country, but then I don't know. It's a tough one because there's really two
Mm.
opponents that are really tough. Boom, like when I play against them, but then I would say I don't know. I don't know. It comes between the two. They're both tough. They're both really tough. I don't know.
Because in my mind, the way I'm hearing you answering this question, it's like you want to say, "There's no one. There's no one that's tough. No one's tough." That's just reading the conversation. But me personally, knowing what it's like playing games like Street Fighter. Like I've played esports for Street Fighter, played esports for Dota 2. I know that it's tough
Mm,
competition, but
mm.
no one fully understands how deep it gets, right? So that's why I'm asking, like, how deep does it get for you? Like, are there sleepless nights where you're like, you know what, next time I know I'm playing a second leg against them tomorrow, so tomorrow I need this tactic. Do you ever have those opportunities?
Yeah, all the time, man. Or every single time, because especially against my teammate Julio, we
Mm.
we know each other's play style quite like a lot, you know. So whenever I play against him, it's all about who messes up basically, who scores first or what. So it's really tough. So he knows how I play. Then maybe if we have to play today, I will then we playing again tomorrow. I will definitely try to come up with something different. You know, stay up, practice some moves that I think he doesn't know that I would do. Like he doesn't expect me to do it. So yeah, I do spend the extra hour trying to practice something, tactics, freestyle, skill,
Uh,
whatever. Yeah.
okay, and Michaela, have you seen the stress levels of the individuals, Julio, Tabo, just rising through the roof because of practice, not because of actual matches, but because of practice alone?
Definitely not in practice. Julia and Thabo, they've been through um, very, very high intense games throughout their careers. So, if anything, there might be a little bit of nerves and stuff during big tournaments, but definitely not practice. I like to believe that Thabo and Julia, as well as other FIFA player Faiz, they've got that composure that's needed to push them through and get the wins in all the big tournaments.
Mm, mm. Okay, and then just to kind of sidetrack off of FIFA for a little bit, I just want to know, like, for the players that you do have, like, what does Goliath Gaming sort of encompass when it comes to gaming? So we know that there's FIFA. What else is there?
Oh, there's so many games. There's obviously FIFA. So Goliath Gaming currently has 6 different titles with 14 players. We've got some of the best FIFA players. We've got the best StarCraft player in South Africa. We've got a really really good Counter Strike team, Street Fighter, Tekken, and basically it all comes down to the individual in selecting his game. So if you want to get into esports, the first step is to obviously identify which game you enjoy the most and which one you want to compete in. For Tabo and Julia, as well as Faiz specifically on the FIFA side, they used to play and have a big love for physical soccer. So that transition onto the virtual pitch was very easy for them. But yeah, at the end of the day, there's too many games to actually mention, and the competitive scene for most games in South Africa are picking up really well.
Oh, okay. I see. So I had a question in my head, like it popped out the second you started saying mentioning, no, there's this, there's that. I was like, no, that question is gone. But yes, um, on your side, guys, the one thing that I know for sure, right? You have these LAGN tournaments that you do that just pop up randomly. Is there a community that you guys follow that alerts you like, okay, no, there's this ACG is doing a land and there's a competition there. Probably like what's this VS Gaming next week is having a mini tournament in preparations. Do you guys follow a community, or is it just you look on Facebook and you're like just VS Gaming?
So yeah, basically in South Africa, there's quite a few tournament organizers that have done a really, really good job over the past 15 years.
Mhm.
Medal State, VS Gaming, ACGL as well. So it's pretty much you just got to follow them on social media. That's pretty much where they announce all the upcoming tournaments as well as their websites. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Um, Tabo, for you, because VS Gaming was your first, right? Do you think that you would you would have played even more tournaments before um, going to VS Gaming so that you can see what it's like, or are you just like overjoyed that VS Gaming was number one and then G swept into to swoop you before anyone else could?
Um, so I had a friend. I don't want to mention him, but he's my
Mm.
friend. So I used to ask him to let me know whenever he plays tournaments, and he would never tell me. So like, I always missed out, you know. So I always find out maybe on a Sunday that I won a tournament. And I ask him, why don't you tell me? It's like, you should tell me stories. Then for the VS gaming, obviously, I found out and made sure that
Mm.
I competed in the tournament. Like I didn't want to miss out on anything. So yeah, then obviously I won the tournament, which was a blessing. You know, I'm still happy that I won the tournament because it changed my life for the good.
And now you're one of us that sits at home playing games for a living.
Yeah, and that is quite a blessing because I don't want to wake up and go to work and this stuff and this. I'm happy to be doing what I love as a job. You know, it's quite easier for me. And yeah,
Mm.
like I'm only playing. It's a hobby and it's a career at the same time for me. So it's all chill.
Okay, and after winning, after winning VS Gaming, right? When you got back and said, "Mom, here, Dad, this is what's happened because this time I went out, I played a tournament, and this is what we got because I won." What was that reception like for you?
So yeah, obviously I got home and it was late too, so I was sleeping. And I told her, then she was like, I don't know, it seemed like she didn't believe me or something. Then until the next day, I showed her everything, the pictures and stuff. Then yeah, she was happy for me, man. You know, she was buzzing. Then yeah, she started supporting me from then. Ever since then, so now it's just like yeah, we chill. She's happy whenever I have tournaments these days. She's always happy, you know, that I'm working or something. So yeah, it's been a quite good relationship.
But she's your number one fan now, officially. There's
Yeah,
something that
nah, I think so. But then
mm,
yeah, you can speak. Like you
okay,
can speak. Sorry.
there's one thing that always kind of gets comes to our parents seeing gaming as a career, right? Um, do you think that we we need to show them more? Like, listen, this is what you can do, and then help them realize that gaming is not only cannot only be a hobby, but it can be an entire paycheck waiting for you. Like, do you think that even without winning, she would become your number one supporter when she sees that you're going out at these tournaments?
Uh, Knowing my mother, probably after a while, yeah, she was get like used to it. So I don't know. Obviously, it never happened. You never know. But then me,
Mm,
yeah, it's like she probably would after a while. Maybe I'm not sure. Maybe not. I'm
mm,
not sure.
mm. Okay, and then the secondary question is just a follow up question for what you said earlier. For you now, you said that she becomes happy when you have tournaments that you need to go to. Like, do you now get reprimandings for not practicing? Like, just why are you not playing? Why? What's happening? You have a tournament in 2 days, yet you're not playing. What's going on? Do you get that?
No, not really. Like she's now she's still like normal, the person. When there's a tournament I need to help
Mm.
me play and I play the tournament. Not she like tells me to play and all that. Nah, she's, I play whenever I decide to play. Like she doesn't know the schedule or anything. I guess she can't say anything.
It sounds like you play in one corner of the house. Then whenever you hear she's home, you run. But Michele, is there a schedule for gamers? Is there like a 9 to 5, if you would, for gamers?
Not at the moment, no. I think right now it comes down to the individual. They've put more time in than anybody else. So at the end of the day, it's them that kind of knows the best routine and the best schedule to stick by in order to win the tournament. But one thing to mention is before the big tournaments, we do have all our players come through to the Goliath Gaming headquarters for a boot camp. It's usually a week before the big tournaments, where we have our mental coach, and we also implement a little physical session for the guys. We'll go for a run as a team. Uh, we'll have a little meditation session as a team, breakfast together, and pretty much end it off with a nice team yoga session for the guys to feel, a bit relaxed and eased going into the big day.
So, as much as your fingers work, your body has to work as well to be a gamer, a full-on esports gamer, guys. So you heard it yourself. This is Goliath Gaming. If I'm not mistaken, this is the biggest esports team in South Africa, right? So with that, guys, remember that for them to recruit you, number one, you have to show passion, you have to show want, and you have to be the best. That means you have to beat the best. Depending on which game you're going into, there are different mountains that you have to climb. Right, you have Mount Tabo over here for FIFA. Right, so those of you that play FIFA with passion and say you can take on anybody who comes, there's Tabo over here. Hopefully soon, right? As soon as we're currently having plans to build our own esports center so that you guys can come here and just game as well, right? So what I hope we could arrange one day is that Goliath gaming team comes through here and we have a brawl out, not a necessarily a tournament, but we just have a brawl out of individuals that come and play, and we cover everything live for everyone so that you guys can also see that there is a Mampriki who sells Magwenya on the corner, but she plays better Call of Duty than Michael. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if I can jump in
So,
there, I think that's a really awesome thing, which I think South Africa is lacking at the moment. So basically, if you want to play at the top of the level in South Africa, you're going to require equipment, which a lot of South Africans don't actually have access to. Not everyone has good internet. Not everyone can afford a PlayStation or computer. So I do think we need more little pop-up locations for people that don't have the equipment, to firstly come and practice and get into gaming. But that's also a very nice way for them to actually get noticed. Because, like I say, we do our scouting online in all the big tournaments, but there are certain gems out there that just don't have access and sadly never get seen.
Yeah, true. A diamond in the rough can never be found until you dig. So I wanna just ask this. What's what's in store for the future for you, Tabo, at Goliath Gaming? And please don't say that it's just more tournaments and more practice.
Obviously,
Like, give me bigger picture. What where
now
are we heading in life?
me, now for me, we're going international. We have we've done the local stuff. We're trying to go international now. We're trying to get name big out there also. I mean, for like gaming are known overseas also. So there's a bit of that. But then what I'm saying is, me and my teammate personally, I think we wanna make them proud. On the international scene also show them that there's also like the best teams outside of South Africa and all those type of things. I don't know if you get me. And yeah, but like gaming are more than just business to me, obviously. They are like a family, they are big things also. So it's like a big thing. It's more than just business for me.
Mm.
Weeks can follow up.
Yeah,
You know.
I couldn't agree more with what Thabo said. And just to add on to that a little bit closer to home, so yeah, we do compete in all global tournaments overseas, but more so, I like to believe and think that our FIFA players specifically are shaping South Africa on the FIFA side. Just them doing really well in all big tournaments. Thabo and Julia making it in the Forbes Africa 30 under 30. That it kind of gives the rest of the South Africans out there who really want to make something out of gaming, um, just allows them to know that that it is possible, and that certain people out there like Thabo and Julia are shaping the future of South African FIFA specifically.
Yeah, yeah. So for me, I want to know, like, when it comes to your esports recruitment, right? You say you recruit at big tournaments. You also do online scouting as well. Um, as far as I know, like, for instance, there are these. What's this? I remember seeing somewhere that you guys do also check video footage of past played games. Like, for instance, people that have been playing on Twitter or Twitch rather, on Twitch, live streaming their content. So there are some people out there that believe that they can they can play on the level that people like Tabo and Julio can. How is it that you find them? Like, do you literally just go on every single page at every single tournament? Is that what you literally do, or like, is there one day just you word of mouth saying, no, there's this tournament happening, but I want you to check out this one player?
So it does differ case by case. So usually we do have a scouting process because we're very selective on the different players that we sign to Goliath Gaming, just to keep that eliteness. So basically, we'll keep an eye on all the big tournament organizers in South Africa and just keep an eye on the players that that are consistent. Not always the players who are winning. For example, Julio, we scouted him for about 3 months. He was the most consistent player. He wasn't always coming first, but he was putting up the biggest fight against the biggest competitors in FIFA. So we kept a close eye on him for about 2 or 3 months, and then we had a look at his social medias just to make sure he's he's, he's good that side as well. And yeah, then we pretty much approached him. But that does differ case by case. For example, Thabo and our little 11-year-old Tekken player Malik, we attended those two different tournaments. And yeah, obviously Thabo won his tournament, so that was a no-brainer. But for our little 11-year-old Tekken player Malik, he didn't win the tournament, but he showed a lot of promise. So we do believe that working with him for another year or two, and he will be the future Tekken champion in South Africa.
Mm. Thabo, how does it feel when you hear your colleague like talk like this about how you've managed to conquer things that some people have never managed to conquer?
Um, I don't know. He always says this, you know. I can say nothing, man.
Huh.
Honestly, he has good things to say about me. You know? So
Uh,
obviously,
so
what I do
mm,
on the platform to get, it also helped me like build up or help me become who I am as a football player. I'm just trying to make them proud also. And even if I do lose on certain days, they won't come at me like, oh, why did you lose? All this stuff. And they'll be like, not don't worry, next time. And obviously, they'll make me feel next time we're gonna come back better and win the whole thing. And yeah, we all happy at the end of the day. It's always just good vibes at the end. There's not a lot of negative things or at all negative things. Yeah, all good for the past few years. Trading with them, and yeah, I'm happy to be with them until today.
so Mikel, you part of the team that just looks for family, because that's what it sounds like. It sounds like one family. It's not about okay who's doing the most, as we'd say today, who's doing the most, but you look for people. Do they number one? Um, can they excel in what they're doing? Number two, do they do they portray what we're looking for, whether it's social media, whether it is in real life situations as well. And as a last thing, I just want to ask, is there an age restriction for joining Goliath Gaming, or is it just open to everyone? Like you can join as long as you're good, or as long as you're consistent, and as long as you have the talent or the drive to keep pushing.
Yeah, 100%. There's no specific age that we, have limits on. Like I said, we just recently signed a little 11-year-old. At the same time, he's too young to compete in all the big overseas global series qualifiers. I believe you need to be 14 years old to compete on the Tekken side. But yeah, at the end of the day, like you mentioned, winning is awesome, but it's not all that we look at. We are for the long game. Like you say, we're a family. Yeah, we just want to build something really awesome for South African esports in the future, just so that it can really become a proper career path for the future generation of gamers.
Hmm. So, for those that are watching, you guys need to fully be aware that Thabo might not be one of the cases, but some people out there work hard in order to find or to be in the spotlight for Goliath Gaming. But Thabo played his heart out to win his first tournament. And honestly speaking, after I was one of the few people that joined back before VS Gaming was VS Gaming. It was do gaming league competitions. I was one of those guys.
A long time ago, eh?
Yes, I hope I'm not giving away my age there, but yes, um, I was one of those people that were there, and we played back in the day. We played Dota, we played FIFA. I think it was 16, FIFA 16 back in the day, and the competition was fierce. Even with Battlefield, you find the toughest opponents. Now, when that happens, right? You need to be able to grit your teeth and have a family. For example, like Tabo has the Goliath game. You have a family that's got your back. Do you not agree, Tabo? Mm.
We were
So,
fortunate enough.
guys, mm, take for example Tabo. He has Goliath family at his back, and he's moving forward. That's for me personally. That's the dream that I have for a lot of esports players. There's some people that play games at home, and they say I want to play games for a living, but they don't fully understand that this can be an actual career. It's not just I'm gonna sit home and do nothing or play games all day. No, you can have these competitions and win and make a living from it, right? So, Tabo, before your friend introduced you to esports by him going to different tournaments and winning whatever he won, did you ever think this is what you would do?
Yeah, so like way before, I didn't have a console to go to play on to compete, But then I was watching players overseas to go to competitions and all that. That's what. So I told myself I also want the same thing. So yeah, I worked hard to. I did some pull my PS3. Pursued my mother to buy me a PS4. When she finally paid, I knew what I had to do, so it was a bit easier.
Hmm.
Because I've been studying it for the previous year. Like the whole year, I was studying what to do and how to get into it.
Okay. And roughly, how many hours do you think you've put in before VS? Like, because I know for us Steam gamers, we get the notification like, listen, you played this game for 4,000 hours. How many days? How many hours do you think you've put in before going into championship?
Mm, I don't know. Say, I don't know. Because the FIFA started out previously, the previous year on September, and the VS
Oh,
gaming was next year in May. So obviously, if you can count all those months, probably every day in all those months for at least 10 hours. So probably, yeah, it's been a lot.
and until today, you're still playing. Mika, I realized you're laughing there. Do hours count? Do
Yeah,
hours count?
definitely. So the reason why I was actually laughing because you've been mentioning Dota the whole time. So when we first started Goliath Gaming, I used to captain our Dota team, and yeah, it's a little bit of an embarrassing fact, which I'm still proud of at least. But yeah, I used to have, or I currently have. I haven't played in a few years, but I've got 17,000 hours in Dota alone.
Ah,
So yeah, hours definitely add up. Yeah, 100%. You get so much experience and confidence from playing more than other people. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. Trust and believe. I know the feeling. I myself have 43,000.
Oh wow, that's insane.
So yes, no, I've like I said, I've been playing. Games is life, and that's my motto. Gaming is life, and you guys are turning gaming into a living, not just life. But
Yeah,
as
that's
soon
that's
as
pretty
we
much
have,
our goal, eh? Just to
yeah,
yeah,
as
kind
soon
of
as we
provide
have
that
our
career
center
path.
up, please, when we have our center up, Goliath Gaming invited to come here, please.
We'll be
Once
more than
everything is
happy
up and
to
running,
come.
the whole team, not one missing, and I will Google you guys. I know how to find you on Google at least. The whole team. Because the thing is this, right? My main objective with having you here is to also call a few parents from around the neighborhood here, so they can see that you have from 11 to what 34. The last time I checked, the oldest is 34. From 11 to 34 who are competing in esports games, and these people are practically touring. They are touring South Africa. They can tour internationally as well, and these things happen for them because you focus on a game. And some people never believe you. Like, no, there's no way you drive this car because you're gaming. Ah, well, buddy, reality check.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
yeah. There's
just
many.
on that note, Yes, sorry.
I was just going to say there's many facts about gaming in South Africa that a lot of people wouldn't believe. For example, one Thabo being a Red Bull sponsored athlete. He's the only one in the southern hemisphere of the world. Um, I would have never thought that was possible a few years ago myself. So yeah, I think step by step, all the esports players in South Africa are doing really well for the future generation of gamers here.
Yeah, Tabo, I want to join you. How did you do it? I also want to be sponsored by Red Bull, or at least Monster, or something. How did you do it?
I don't know, just stay on top of your game, do your best always. Then the rest will come.
That sounds like a fortune cookie type
Can you hear
advice,
me?
man. Come on, dude. How did you like grind out?
I don't know, man. Like I don't really have any requirements to join Red Bull. I just did what I always do. Then they approached me. Yeah, like really, I did nothing special. I just worked hard like I always do, play like I always do. Yeah, I guess it was my story also kind of helped me. How I came into the FIFA scene and became one of the best players in the country also. So that's what also fueled it also. You know what I mean? Like came from nothing to being the best all these years. Yeah.
I think that's something really important to note is there's people always watching you, whether it's Red Bull or Goliath Gaming. Yeah, you must just always conduct yourself professionally because you really never know who's watching you.
It's still like my head's still
Yeah,
ringing.
exactly. That's
The
my whole point.
only one, the only one sponsored by Red Bull Southern Hemisphere. Yo, that's a big feat. That is a big feat. You jumped and you leaped. Um, I just want to ask one thing, Michelle. My last question, right, would be sorry, Michele. Um, what what drives the players? Like, I understand that there's passion, that there's these little moments where you have bursts of I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. But what do you think is the most important thing when it comes to the drive to push yourself forward? And please don't say the money, please.
No, no, no.
I want something juicy.
Yeah, so obviously there's a lot of enjoyment that the people get out of gaming, and I'm sure anybody would dream to do gaming as a job. I used to work a job that I didn't really like that much for 7 years, so I know how it is to do something that you're not passionate about. But from my experience with all of our gamers in Goliath Gaming, one of the biggest drives is the overseas opportunity. You know, obviously it's really awesome to go and compete at all the big local events at lands, but I think that overseas opportunity to go and play against the best in the world and cement yourself in history books is, I think that's one of the biggest drives for our players. And that's actually why we do try to give them the opportunities to go boot camp. We took our FIFA guys and our Counter-Strike guys to Dubai last year to prepare as well as compete in overseas tournaments. So yeah, I think I would say it's the overseas opportunities.
So if I wanted to join the night gaming today and I had the drive and I was ready, I'm not aiming for South Africa, I'm aiming for overseas and you help me get there.
Yeah, look, a lot of the hard work's going to have to be done from your side. But once players do get into Goliath Gaming, there really is a lot that we provide. We've got a co-owner that assists with the media and the branding and just building the player's brand because at the end of the day, that's super important for sponsors. Yeah, we've got a really nice arsenal behind the Goliath Gaming management team to develop the players inside and outside of the game. Um, and yeah, you can see it with Thabo as well. Like he said, he used to hate doing interviews or he was really nervous. But now it's a walk in the park for him.
Like today, we just came, we're like, listen, Tabo, can we have you just for 1 hour quick? He was like, yeah, ah, it's It's whatever. Thabo, on your side, man. International dreams. I know that there are two main competitions, right? There is one in, I think it's in Germany, and then there's one
Yeah.
in US. Like those two, I know that they are huge. Um, international dreams. How far are you going? How big are you going?
Now, my plan is to obviously go as big as I can. I don't know how far it's gonna take me or how far am I gonna go. There's only one way to find out. But yeah, my dream is just compete against the world's best players and be one of the world's best players known around the whole world. That is the initial plan for me. And yeah, with my skill and ability, I think I should be able to achieve it in a few years' time. Soon, very soon.
In my
Yeah,
mind, you
just
mentioned a
to
few days. Yeah,
just to add on to that, yeah.
Because
So no, go
also
for it, Thabo.
previously, yeah, uh,
You go
yeah,
for it.
like I
Go
was
for it.
saying previously, I've competed against. Okay, yeah, cool. I previously competed against players who qualified for the World Cup, and I beat them, and so it shows that the level is there. But then it's just I feel like here in South Africa, the opportunities are less compared to that side. Also, we just need to be given stage to perform, and then yeah, we'll see what happens.
That's exactly what I was going to
That's
say.
my personal opinion.
Basically, yeah, certain players in South Africa or certain gaming titles, for example, are on equal playing field overseas. For example, if our Counter Strike and Dota teams from South Africa go overseas and play against the world's best, uh, we're going to be put to shame, simply put. But for example, FIFA players, we've had multiple of our players go overseas and actually beat world champions. So it's a very exciting thing that the South African FIFA scene is as good as the international best players in the world.
so everyone has a chance, guys. Everyone has a chance. If you play FIFA, you have a chance. Don't worry. We know. I know a few people also that play FIFA like traditionally, not just as a hobby, but they play it traditionally. And with that, um, I want to inspire you guys. Like competitions are everywhere. Join them. Be like Thabo. Win something grand. Um, just because we're about to close right now, are there any parting shots from your side? Let's first start with our main guest Thabo, and then we'll go to Michaela next.
Uh, I don't know, man. I think we covered, we spoken about everything that we needed to. So, nah, I don't have anything on my side. I don't know what mix.
Mix.
Yeah, so from my side, I would just say the world is changing. South African esports, it never used to be a really big thing, but I like to believe we're heading in the right direction. Um, there's a lot of opportunities that are coming for South African gamers. So if you are a South African gamer, just keep up with all the tournaments, compete as much as you can, put yourself out there. When you lose, don't give up. You're going to lose a lot. But you just got to think of the end goal of kind of being where Thabo is, for example, and it would have all been with the hard work.
All right, guys, that's it from our side. This is the Screw Up session, the esports edition. We've decided that we're taking over today, and because we took over today, you guys found out that you can make money off of playing games. Let's have a good one. Enjoy your long weekend, guys. Tomorrow's National Bride Day. Have fun, guys, and remember, we all start somewhere. Some people started playing in the back rooms. Some people started playing on big stages and won their first tournaments. Wink, wink, Tabo. Um, but it all starts somewhere. So the sooner you start, the more prepared you are for the future. Let's jump into this, guys. Peace.